What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the online Jamily? This, of course, here's JamiroFan 2000 with the May episode of the QUAICast, a Jamiroquai podcast for the Jamily by the Jamily. As I said, this is the sixth monthly episode of the QUAICast for the month of May 2022. We'll be starting off with the latest news items for the month of 2022. All these following news items are updated as the day of this recording of the QUAICast on May 22nd, 2022. It was recently announced the Sandbox, a leading decentralized gaming virtual world and a subsidiary of Animoca Brands, announced today that it has partnered with Jamiroquai, among other music and mainstream mainstays, the seminal jazz funk band led by JK, to bring the group's free-spirited essence to the Sandbox. By the way, a free press release of this announcement between Jamiroquai and the Sandbox is currently available on the official Animoca Brands website. This strategic collaboration was developed in association with Bravado, Universal Music Group's industry-leading brand management division. Part virtual real estate, part amusement park, the Sandbox fully embraces the idea of the metaverse as a continuous shared digital space where worlds and heroes can collide to make magic. Jamiroquai joins over 200 existing partnerships, including Ubisoft, the Rabbids, Gucci Vault, The Walking Dead, Snoop Dogg, Adidas, the Smurfs, Care Bear, Atari, Zepeto, and CryptoKitties, all following the Sandbox team vision of empowering players to create their own experiences using both original and well-named characters and worlds. More information is forthcoming about this collaboration with the Jamiroquai portion of the Sandbox still under construction by the developers, but I'll be sure to report more developments about this collaboration once it becomes more available soon. Also, to coincide with the recent collaboration agreement between Jamiroquai and the Sandbox, a whole new slew of merchandise was just launched over on the official Jamiroquai store at jamiroquai.com and, of course, jamiroquai.co.uk for people in Europe and the UK. The Jamiroquai X The Sandbox merchandise includes a new t-shirt design, a limited edition lithogram, and a keychain, also complemented by 3 new cosmic long-sleeve t-shirt and sweater designs with the Jamiroquai Buffalo Man that currently are on pre-order at the official Jamiroquai online store. The official merch release date that is noted on the official store will be July 1st of 2022. So if you want to get your hands on some of this limited edition new merchandise, be sure to go over to store.jamiroquai.com and pre-order now. With the reissue of Matt Johnson's solo album With the Music for 2022, Matt Johnson this time decided to reissue his debut solo album in a blue vinyl edition in 2 different versions of releases, one being your traditional blue-colored vinyl reissue and the other one being a colored reissue vinyl with a signature from Matt Johnson himself. By the way, it should also be noted that this reissue of his solo album will also feature the brand new single Place in My Heart as a bonus track on said pre-order. The album is currently now out as of May 20th of 2022 and is available for pre-order at the official Matt Johnson Bandcamp page. So be sure to stop by there today and pre-order your own reissue of this lovely colored vinyl when you can. By the way, Jamiroquai's music just showed up in a brand new Apple Music official playlist simply called Made for Spatial. What this playlist entails is that it's a mixture of old and new music that was recently remastered in a new audio format that was created by Dolby Atmos, which of course is affiliated with Dolby Digital, which is a leading force in audio in TV shows, and of course in music, and of course movies. Jamiroquai's single Virtual Insanity was among a slew of old and new songs on this playlist, which were remastered in the brand new spatial audio format, which, as before mentioned, was developed by Dolby Atmos. You can check out 30-second audio clips of all the songs from this Made for Spatial music playlist over on the Apple Music official music streaming service. Jamiroquai's Matt Johnson recently appeared in 2 brand new Sound on Sound podcast episodes, the first of which was the original interview episode and a new tutorial episode entitled Keyboard Processing Tips with Matt Johnson of Jamiroquai. Both of these podcast episodes can be found on demand to listen anytime at the Sound on Sound official website. In Jamiroquai band member collaboration news, Matt Lettieri of the popular funk bands Snarky Puppy and, of course, the Fearless Flyers with one of the guys from Wolfpack just hooked up with Matt Johnson of Jamiroquai to collaborate on a brand new collab single simply called Rescue Me. This single is currently available for streaming on all major music streaming platforms and, of course, on YouTube. So if you'd like to check out the single for yourself, I'll be sure to provide a link when the time is later in this episode of the QUAICast. During the past weekend of March 7th, 2022, JK of Jamiroquai, amongst all other car enthusiasts, showed up in his beautiful Ocean Jade Porsche 993 Turbo car at the JZM Cars and Coffee event here in May of 2022. Pictures and video of this set appearance by JK at this car event are currently available on YouTube and other places in social media. Also, it should be noted that Jamiroquai's own Derek McKenzie noted over on his Instagram that he will be part of an international drum camp in the country of Hungary in the city of Balaton between August 25th and August 28th of 2022. And that's being basically orchestrated by a fellow musician by the name of Marco Drum. If you'd like more information about registration to possibly join at this great drumming international drum camp with Derek McKenzie of Jamiroquai during the weekend of August 25th of 2022, you can get more information by emailing marcodrumfarm@gmail.com for further details about attending this drum clinic. Recently, Nardwuar, who is one of the most well-known music journalists and is very eccentric of knowing the past backgrounds on the amazing musicians that he interviews up in the country of Canada, recently did his 5th consecutive interview with the renowned MC and rapper Tyler, the Creator, in a new 2022 interview. And this interview took place at a record store up in Canada, and at the tail end of this interview with Tyler, the Creator, which was one hell of an amazing interview by Nardwuar, Tyler, the Creator actually went into great detail about his love of the music of Jamiroquai. He even commented that JK of Jamiroquai had sent him a copy of the most recent Jamiroquai reissue of Traveling on Moving from 1996, sent him a signed copy of that vinyl. And Tyler, even in the interview, is sporting a Buffalo Man pin. But as I said, this amazing interview between Nardwuar and Tyler, the Creator for 2022 is currently available on the Nardwuar official YouTube channel, so be sure to go by YouTube and check out that great interview. In a little bit of tour date update news, the Andalusia Big Festival 2022 ticket update is that 3-day festival tickets just recently went on sale, available between €125 to €250 for the VIP passes. They're currently available at the official AndalusiaBigTickets.com official website. So anybody in the UK who have not been in the UK or Europe that have not been able to get their 3-day festival tickets can get them now at that official website at AndalusiaBigTickets.com. As for information on single-day tickets for the Andalusia Big Festival, it is yet to be announced on when those single-day festival tickets will become available. In a bit of a double vinyl reissue alert, according to Juno Records out of the UK, the first 2 Jamiroquai albums, Mercy Planet Earth from 1993 and 1994's The Return of the Space Cowboy, were recently reissued in double-bound LP gatefold heavyweight vinyl editions as of April 28th of 2022. Those vinyl reissues apparently are only available in the UK, and the only place I've been able to find online where you can pre-order these is at Juno Records' UK official online store. So be sure to go over to Juno Records UK to order your own 2 reissues of the first 2 Jamiroquai albums from 1993 and 1994. Jamiroquai's Derek McKenzie, amongst other drummer luminaries, will be participating in the Drumathon Live 2022 event to help raise funds for mental health charities in the UK. It will be live streamed on social media channels the full week of May 14th to 21st of 2022. Be sure to check out a great article by MusicConnection.com for more further details on how to tune in to see Drumathon Live 2022 with Derek McKenzie and lots of great other drummers from out pop music. Links to everything discussed in this latest news portion of the episode of the QUAICast can be found down below in the description area of this episode's upload on YouTube and, of course, over on Anchor FM and, of course, on Spotify. Coming up next will be a new JamiroFan Talks About portion, doing a little more of a deep dive about the amazing recent collaboration between The Sandbox and, of course, Jamiroquai. Hello, Jamly, and welcome to another new portion of JamiroFan Talks About, which, of course, over on my YouTube channel has been one of my longest recurring video series, discussion series, I should say, looking at the past, present, and future of Jamiroquai, and they're now over 30 years of music making. This episode is going to be basically focusing on a major collaboration announcement that came at the end of May of 2022 between The Sandbox and Jamiroquai. And as I covered in the news portion of this early news portion of this episode of the QUAICast, this is a bit of a very substantial collaboration between Jamiroquai and, of course, the Sandbox, or should I say, Animoca Brands, of this new gaming virtual world that has been licensing out a lot of the luminaries from the mainstream music scene in this new metaverse prospect game called the Sandbox. It is a very interesting collaboration and very widespread, at least in the case of Jamiroquai, because they've never really done a collaboration in video gaming before. Now, Jamiroquai in the past have used video games to promote their album releases, from Synchronized all the way up to A Funk Odyssey, but this is the first time Jamiroquai has actually done a collaboration into the metaverse, which of course is a bit of a online NFT blockchain variation of a social network where people can buy their own land and build their own houses in this said metaverse community. And in this case, they are basically licensing out all these different acts, like from Snoop Dogg way up to Jamiroquai, to use their art assets and their music in talking to each other and to communicating with each other and creating themselves a digital community where both the bands and the fans can be in a much more close-knit relationship. And as I said in the early part of this episode of the QUAICast, there is a very substantial press release that was released by Animoca Brands with more information about this upcoming collaboration between Jamiroquai and the Sandbox. And as I covered in the news portion of this episode of the QUAICast, it's pretty interesting. I'm going to read a few portions from this press release so you can give you an idea of what they're trying to go for. Jamiroquai is a legendary funk and acid jazz band from London, centered on vocalist JK. Known for the global smash Virtual Insanity and a string of hit albums and worldwide tours, the Grammy-winning band has sold more than 27 million albums worldwide. Its third album, Traveling Without Moving, received a Guinness Book World Record for the best-selling funk album in history. Jamiroquai have always been future-facing and super social. Creating a land where everyone can come together in the Sandbox with a bit of funk, freedom, and fashion will provide a communal place to digitally connect with our fans and fellow music lovers, said in a statement from the band this week. We look forward to telling you more soon, but for now can say that the hat will definitely be involved. Part virtual real estate, part amusement park, the Sandbox embraces the idea of the metaverse as a continuous shared digital space where worlds and heroes collide to make magic. Jamiroquai joins over 200 existing partnerships, including Ubisoft, the Rabbids, Gucci Vault, The Walking Dead, Snoop Dogg, Adidas, The Smurfs, Care Bear, Atari, Zepeto, and CryptoKitties, at following the Sandbox-themed vision of empowering gamers to create their own experiences using both original and well-known characters and world. The metaverse is driving creativity through new forms of expression and technology in the music and the entertainment industry, and it is an honor to welcome Jamiroquai to the Sandbox, said Sebastian Borget, CEO and co-founder of the Sandbox. We now have partnerships with the most legendary musical artists and labels, including Snoop Dogg, Jamiroquai, Blondish, and Deadmau5, and we're excited to be making the Sandbox a home where artists can connect with their fans in a direct and genuine way. Now that this whole collaboration, at least in my opinion, in a sense of the first impressions of this collaboration, this seems very exciting. This really can help lots of people online discover the music of Jamiroquai, and then in their own free time explore the music of Jamiroquai, and using their reputation and using their art assets to create their own worlds in this new metaverse Sandbox game, and meet other fans along the way. But that doesn't mean there hasn't been reservations brought up, to, at least in my own opinion, in at least the first impression sense, about what Animoca Brands is all about. Animoca Brands is a company that deals in NFTs and, of course, blockchain, which NFTs do have a bit of a bad reputation online. NFTs, to a certain degree, at least from the NFTs I've seen that have gained prominence, at least in their online trading, there's a lot of the NFT marketplace is very unregulated, and a great amount of the artwork that is used in these said NFTs that are sold online are of pretty much of a copyright infringement direction, and that kind of gives me a little bit of caution to be completely gushing about this collaboration between Jamiroquai and Animoca Games / The Sandbox. Now, I'm hoping that this whole collaboration deal, at least when it's more fleshed out, and once, like they said in this press release, they'll be forthcoming with much more information about Jamiroquai's affiliation with this game and what parts of Jamiroquai will be represented in this said digital metaverse space. But I do have reservations in hoping that Jamiroquai will not be sucked in to potentially more money-making gimmicks and tricks that can happen or can be entailed in this kind of a collaboration business proposition. Now, if this leads to beyond Jamiroquai's licensing of, characters and music videos and music beyond the sandbox premise, if this leads into potentially Jamiroquai official NFT artwork or anything to do with blockchain, then this is something that would be very questionable, and I've actually done a little more research into what the sandbox is and how the metaverse works, which I'll hopefully be covering in a future episode over on my respective YouTube channel of like a JamiroFan Talks About episode, fleshing out what exactly is the metaverse and how does Jamiroquai fit into this whole kind of sandbox grand scheme of a digital community of Jamiroquai's likeness, its assets, its music being used by the users of the sandbox to either create their own communities, create their own spaces, as you will, to in the grand scheme of things. Now, the NFT part of this does still give me a lot of trepidation, gives me a lot of resisting of this possible collaboration, but like I said, this is purely all of my first impressions. There's still a lot of information, there's still a lot that we don't know about this collaboration, which will hopefully be fleshed out and explained into a greater degree later on as the developers work on the Jamiroquai portion of the sandbox, which, according to some reports, is still under construction and still under development. So the core attributes of Jamiroquai's collaboration is still not known, at least beyond this press release, but of course that information will hopefully be forthcoming and will be bringing us a little more transparency on how Jamiroquai will be adapted into the sandbox. But out of the gate, this is a very interesting and very exciting collaboration, at least in a digital sense of helping further the identity and the discovery of Jamiroquai's amazing musicography to a whole new generation of digital users in the metaverse. And it'll be very interesting to see the users of said sandbox taking these attributes and music and assets of Jamiroquai and adapting it to their own use in their individuality and expression online. So, I'm still holding out that this is going to be a great collaboration, and I'm just just doing a little bit of caution, at least in my initial prognostication of this deal. But as I said, I will be covering much more information about this major collaboration move by Jamiroquai and the Sandbox and Animoca Games very soon in future content over on my YouTube channel. But I say check out like I said, the press release for this collaboration is on the Animoca Brands official website, so be sure to check the description area of this episode of the QUAICast down below for a link to the press release, and you make your own judgments and judgment calls on what you read there in this press release. But I hope you enjoyed this portion of JamiroFan Talks About, and be sure to check out my YouTube channel for much more new Jamiroquai and Jamiroquai band member related content when you can over on YouTube. And that's it for this May 2022 episode of the QUAICast, a Jamiroquai podcast for the Jamly by the Jamly. And as I prefaced in both parts of this episode of the QUAICast, all the links to everything discussed in the news portion, and of course in the JamiroFan Talks About portion about the recent collaboration between Jamiroquai and of course the Sandbox Metaverse community, can be found down below in the description area of this episode of the QUAICast Jamiroquai Podcast, down on its upload on Anchor FM, and of course in the description area of this episode on YouTube. As always, I'd like to thank everybody for all the support, and I hope you continue to listen to this podcast, get all your latest information, and be sure to go to both of the subreddits of the online Jamly at r/Jamiroquai and r/the Reddit Jamly for all the latest news concerning Jamiroquai, the band members of Jamiroquai, and everything you come to know with the band Jamiroquai. As I said, thank you again for listening, and I'll be sure to see you again really soon, hopefully in the month of June, with another monthly episode of the QUAICast Jamiroquai Podcast. Thanks again, everybody, with the support, and I'll see you soon. Take care, and bye-bye.